Welcome back, you beautiful people. It is April 2022. So naturally, we're going to take a look back at what happened in March 2022, as well as where we sit year to date. So let's jump right into it. We'll talk about the sales that happened in March. We sold a total of 2,011 properties, a decrease of 11.6%. But the prices went up by 11.7%. So we're seeing less houses sell, which tells us that means that's the indication there is less demand. Now the question is about supply. What's the inventory like? Well, it's more. So we're having increased inventory and decreased supply. So that's going to have a negative effect on what the prices might look like moving forward. So it's something to pay attention to. But we're only sitting on 18 days of inventory. So this might get us a little bit closer to a balanced market. Remember, a balanced market means we have 4 months or more. 4 to 6 months of inventory is a balanced market. 6 or more months is a buyer's market. So we are far, far away from there. Year to date, you can start to see the total number of houses that we've sold is less, but the average price is up. Okay, so we've sold maybe about 300 houses. What's that, 100 a month, give or take? So maybe by the end of the year, we will have sold less houses by maybe 1,000 or 1,200 or maybe even 2,000. But remember, last year we set a record for number of sales at close to 21,000 or just over 21,000. So maybe we only sell 19 or 20,000 this year. So anyways, but the prices are expected to continue to go up. And the main driver there is that we have no supply. Okay, we are currently sitting in a bit of a confused market. People are taking trips that they haven't been able to take for 2 years. The interest rates are fluctuating. I mean, they're not fluctuating, they're going up. There's no secret there. The inflation seems as though it's going to be going up. There's a bunch of international uncertainty. A lot of people are getting sick. So people are just out for 5 or 10 days or whatever the regulations are, right? And a lot of the buyers are just fed up. They're sick, literally, of the real estate market. And so people are saying, yeah, you know what? I'm not going to compete. If this is the price that they want, the price they've listed it for, what actual price they want, I don't know. I don't want to play the game anymore. I've lost out 17 times. I'm sick of being the person who's going in on a house that's listed for $599, offering $650, and somebody's beating me by paying $7. Over and over again, no thank you. As a result, the sellers are seeing fewer offers on their properties. So when sellers would typically expect to see, 8 or 9 or 10 offers on a property, now they might only be seeing 2 or 3. In some instances, there was only one. Or nothing, right? So there's an interesting opportunity for some sellers. Some sellers are still doing exceptionally well. Some buyers are doing exceptionally well, but there's really low inventory. The problem is, as we add more inventory to the market, as we move into the spring market, buyers start to think, oh well, if I don't get this one, there's another one around the corner. There's another one around the corner. There's another one around the corner, because more and more inventory is getting added into the market. On the residential side, you can see in March we sold 12% less houses than in 2021, but again, the average price has gone up by 12%. So we're talking about just shy of $100,000 year over year in terms of average price point for a house in the month of March. That's pretty significant. We've got more houses for sale than we had last year, okay? And more houses, about 200 extra houses are added to the market in the month of March. So we might not have that same sort of 20% growth that we've been seeing sort of at the beginning of this year. It might dwindle down, only be 5% growth or 10% growth or something a little bit more sustainable than what we've seen over the last 2 years, between 20 and 23.6% growth year over year. But inventory is still dramatically low, right? 19 days worth of inventory. We've got 960 houses for people to buy and 1,493 in terms of number of sales. So it's still a very strong seller's market. And even if there is a slight shift, it wouldn't even be a shift so much as that confusion that we're talking about. Okay, year to date on the residential side, you can see here a decrease in terms of number of sales of 4.4%, but an increase in average price. Again, year to date, $100,000 more for an average house, residential home in Ottawa than we had last year. That's dramatic. Okay, so there's a part of me that thinks, hey, there's an opportunity maybe here for some people to jump in. Some interesting effects here, right? Great sales. We talked about this a second ago, but the confusion can set you apart when you're buying or when you're selling by applying different strategies. So if you're selling a house and you're still using the old style strategies, they might not be working as well, okay? And if you're buying a house, there's an opportunity maybe to use a bit of a different strategy to go in and win. On the condo side, I'm expecting condos to actually outperform residential homes this year. So we'll see how that trends as we continue. But we sold 10.2% less houses in the month of March. Again, the average price, however, has gone up by almost 10%. So an average condo is worth almost $500,000, and we're seeing a big bump that happened with those condo townhouses, where you were able to get them maybe last year for in the 400s. Now they're close to the fives. And that's going to be the most affordable, quote unquote, family type home, right? Because a family doesn't really want to live in a condo building. They'd rather live in a garden home or a condo townhouse. And so I think there's a great opportunity there for some investors to look in that direction. Inventory wise, you can see the reason I expect condos to do better is because we can't keep the inventory for them. Okay, 286 versus 325 in March in 2021. So there's less condos for sale than there was last year. However, you can see it is a slight increase from what we saw in February 2022, which is what we typically expect that trend to do as we move month over month into the spring market. 17 days of inventory, so still, again, a very, very strong seller's market. If you'd like some information, some help with dissecting all of this, or you'd like to have a private one-on-one conversation about how this affects you and your family, whether you're buying, whether you're selling, whether you're considering investing in real estate, feel free to click the link below. You can schedule an appointment with me directly to have a deep uncovering of all of this, whether it's a home evaluation, whether it's a buyer consultation, whether it's a strategy session about what to do when you're investing. If you're not able to get on with me, my team and I would be more than happy to help. As always, if you want to call, you can do that as well. The phone number, 1-888-REAL585. And until then, keep it real, collective.